So it's Clare Siobhan 313. We're at MJ Diamonds in Fairlane Mall, and come walk a mile with me at ForShowMagazine.com.
Hey, make some noise for the camera, man. Come on.
Coach,
Make some motherfucking noise, man. Yeah.
we got Clare Siobhan 313 up at Dearborn High. This is where I went to high school. We're at Dearborn High. I ran track here, cross country, and I was on the cheerleading team. I competed for a little bit. I also was on Quiz Bowl. I was very involved in the student life here. I did yearbook as well, so I learned a lot here and had a really good time. But I want to show you more of what the school actually looks like. So this is where Dearborn High has all their sports. I did Dearborn Track Club here. I did actual Dearborn High track and cross country, and we also had cheerleading practice down this way. We used to do the Rock 400, which is where we used to run around the track and run up to that rock. Going uphill at the end of a 400 is not easy. I ran the 1 mile, 2 mile, and the 4x8 relay, the 4x800 relay. And I ran a 5:59 mile time on this track, and it's on record, so you can go look that up. So this is where I used to cheer. We also had some of our cross-country practices up here, where we did like abs exercises after our runs. We also have a really nice film program here. I think it's called WDHS, and we have student-directed scenes, plays every year. There's a lot of effort put into our arts program. We've got a lot of really talented people, musicians in Dearborn as well. There's definitely a lot of local talent here, and I hope to collab with some of the local artists and really see if we can put some art from Dearborn on the map. We also have a really large Lebanese and Arabic population here in Dearborn. I actually do speak Arabic a little bit. You know, just going to Dearborn High, I picked it up from asking questions like, how do you say this, how do you say that? And I learned a lot going here. So this is where I grew up. I'm here at my parents' house, and believe it or not, right here in this backyard is where I used to put on dance performances for all of my neighbors, and I charged 30 cents a ticket. And I think I was 9 years old, and I did some Miley Cyrus and some Miley Cyrus songs, and that song that's like, it's too late to apologize. I had some choreographed routines to some songs, and I also sang in a church choir, and I acted all throughout my childhood in both church stuff and Shakespeare plays. So I was around the performing arts a lot, and my parents really pushed me to keep going in that creative avenue. Maureen, what's your favorite song of mine?
I like, I like Savage, but I like I'm a Boss.
What about the other one you were telling me that you like?
That one that you did with your friend from Flint, what's that one called?
Can't Provoke Us with B. Smith.
Yeah, I like the line in that, thirsty bitches try to fight us, but they can't provoke us.
You gotta tell them.
Hi, I'm Claire's mom, Maureen. When Claire was little, she was always wondering how to make money, and we used to have block parties where she and a friend would make dances up, and then they would charge the neighbors a bottle or a can to come and see the show, and then she would return the bottles and cans. Claire has always been rapping since she was a teenager. That was her favorite form of music. Until recently, I didn't realize whose song she was singing, but I finally watched First Day Out by T. Grizzly and recognized the lyrics right away because Claire used to sing that song all the time. In the past 8 months or so, she started writing songs and singing them, and I thought it was interesting, and she took it further and further, and it's just a very great creative outlet for her because she's always been really strong at writing, and I think it's exciting that she's able to pursue her interests, and I'm excited to see where that's going to take her. It's interesting to see all the different people she's working with and see the different songs they come up with. I'm proud of her, and it's fun to watch.
So this was my first job. I got a job here at 16, working in the gallery, and then I evolved to doing the business side of things, such as managing inventory, accounts payable. I got involved with QuickBooks and learned some of the bookkeeping side of the business. But this is an example of some of the classes that we used to teach. Here at the Glass Academy, we've got icicle ornaments, wine stoppers. You can make these yourself. So you can sign up at glassacademy.com and you can make some cool stuff and you can give it as a gift, the class or the product. But come check out, we got some really hot furnaces and some really hot glass over here. So this is Jake Nordine. We're amongst greatness right now because he is one of the best glass blowers in Michigan. So there is quite a community of glass blowing in Michigan, and there's the Michigan Glass Blowing Project. There's different coalitions that represent the glass blowing community, but Jake has been doing it his whole life pretty much, and he's pretty good at it. I myself have bought some of his pieces and given it as gifts myself, so I'm a fan. Yep.
So we got all the colors laid out here. There's a bunch of different mixes we have. I just put the purple one on here. But all the colors are made from metals and minerals. Super expensive colors. But it's just glass mixed down to 2,000 degrees. I'm going to bring it over to the bench and give it some swirlage.
And all of the colors that you see over there are made from different metals. Pink and red come from gold. They're more expensive, and that's why you don't see a lot of them in glass. Cobalt and copper make different shades of blue. White is tin, if I'm correct. Pink is selenium. How am I doing, Jake?
Pretty darn good, dude. She's worked here before. Yeah, I'm going to put a little indent on the bottom here. This is going to be like a standalone purple, super swirled up, radical tumbler. Let's just put a punny right on it. We can do a clear foot. That sounds cool. Show these guys the soup. But you can see that stiffened up, and now we got the purple coming out of it. It's honestly looking pretty good with your outfit, Claire.
We match. Come to the Glass Academy. So here in this collage in the middle is a photo of me on one of my first days of school, and then here in the corner is a picture of me dancing for my neighbors. And like I said, not only did I charge for a ticket, I think it was 30 cents, or you could bring a few bottles or cans or something like you said. But then afterwards, I also had a whole gift shop of handmade goods, of scarves, greeting cards, really anything that I could make at home. I ended up making $40 when I was 9 off of the gift shop. So it was a huge win, and I worked all year to put that together. So to walk away with $40 at 9 years old was a really big deal. Growing up, my dad was a public school teacher for Dearborn Public Schools. He taught at all of the local high schools, and then my mom was a babysitter for some of the teachers' children. So we always had at least one, sometimes more babies in the house, and I loved helping take care of them. And I, of course, grew attached to the kids as well, and we had a lot of fun together, playing games and running around, having a good time.
She's always been interested in challenging herself in interesting ways. So I'm not really surprised that she is taking this step into performing, because she's always been interested in taking on challenges, and she's been successful in everything that she's ever tried. So yeah, this is not really that much of a surprise to us, although we're very pleased to see the reaction that she's gotten from people. And the first time that we saw her perform live, when she came out on stage, and it's like the energy level of the whole club just went up, and everybody kind of swarmed towards the stage and pulled out their cell phones, and they were singing along to her music, and they knew the words to her songs. So those are special memories that I have.
So I grew up coming here with my dad and my siblings. We're right on the Rouge River, so there's a waterfall that we used to check out, and we would just run around here and get all of our energy out. When I was a teenager, I started coming here like packing picnic baskets and like sitting again on the waterfall and just like having a nice picnic. But now I come back for just nostalgia purposes, and I like to show it off to people who are from out of town. Like, this is Henry Ford's real house. This is his real mansion. You can see his garage where he had all of his cars, all his Model Ts. Come on, let's check out some of the gardens. So down that way is a little creek. That's a nice place to run up and down the field and get some energy out. Bring your kids here. Now we're headed to where Henry Ford kept his boat. So you can kind of hear the water in the background. We're getting close to the Rouge River. And the reason why it's called the Rouge River is because the fur traders, the French fur traders, used to clean off their furs in the water, which is why it was red. That's why they call it the Rouge. So this right here is where Henry Ford kept his boat. And there used to be a little pond here when I was younger. I used to catch tadpoles, bring them home, and turn them into frogs. And then I would bring them back. I would bring the frogs back and set them free. So inside you can see where he actually kept his boat. But up here we've got a up-close view from the bottom of his house. So the waterfall is right over that way. They have a tree house back there, but it appears that they closed that off back in like 2019. So now you can kind of get a sneak peek at what some of the gardens look like. Here it looks like we've got some rose bushes. One of my favorite things to do is garden. I also knit. I have some very interesting hobbies that I enjoy. So to see these gardens myself, I have a lot of respect for the art and design that goes behind it. So I grew up tending to my grandmother's garden. She was a little bit older. She was about 70 when I started taking care of her property. I started mowing her lawn and pruning her rose bushes and taking care of all of her flowers, which she took very seriously. So I took that on, and ever since then I've been enjoying gardening myself. And what I like about it is just really getting dirty, and I have a hard time sitting still for long periods of time. So when I can get up and actually do something physical, it helps me get back to work and focus on whatever I'm working on.
Here, Claire, try them on. See if you can. Oh, look at your miches. How nice. These glowing in your video last
Yeah,
night?
they were. They're looking
so
real
nice.
good.
Those are the cuts from behind, so they just hit the light. It's
Yeah.
Really nice. That same one's in those too.
Yeah.
It's not as big as pistols, but it looks good.
Here you go.
Yeah, everybody loved them on Instagram. They went crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, the numbers are still climbing on Instagram for those. I want to see the footage. You got any footage? Let's see what you
From the
got.
show last night?
Yeah. Were you wearing rich culture?
No, not last night.
No?
But she got the rich culture.
Show them the one off Instagram. So I actually work for a brokerage firm, moving money around from account to account and from firm to firm. I went to school for finance and graduated at the top of my class. And I've been in financial services ever since, working directly with not only the clients, but more so on the operations side of things, working directly with the branches and the financial advisors themselves. I've been working full-time since I was 16, maybe even a little bit younger than that. And I really can relate to Barbie because I've had every single job under the sun, and sometimes that requires a whole uniform that goes along with it. Like I worked in fine dining, medical offices, finance. Every job is different. I've waitressed a lot as well, not only recently, but back in the day I was waitressing as well. And everything, I guess, prepared me for rapping, dealing with different learning scenarios along the way. So I started out working on the business side of the Glass Academy, and I evolved. I went down to Florida, got my real estate license down there, worked in real estate for an owner-developer for a little bit, and that's what helped prepare me to secure a mortgage when I turned 21. And everything is just consistently building on itself, and I'm building on my skills to get to the next level. Back in college, my friends made a booth out of a coat closet, and I've been around people who have been freestyling for many years, and my friends knew that I loved it, and they used to say, "Claire, you should hop on the mic, why don't you try?" And I was too shy, or I didn't know what to say, but back then my rap name was C-Lit, and then we were smoking one time, and then we're like, wait a second, that's not gonna work. But since then, I started rapping about a year ago because I wanted to talk my shit, and I felt like a lot of people have been trying to get me to be quiet and not say certain things, but this is my turn to talk my shit. You know, life happens since then, so now I got something to talk about. What makes me different and why I think I'm in my own lane is because I'm talking cash shit, I'm talking my boss shit, I'm talking about offshore accounts filled up, you know, that corporate money life. And on top of that, I think that the way that I sound is a little bit different than other people as well, because I do have a thick Midwestern accent and I do pronounce every letter and every word. If I were speaking to either myself as a younger artist or another younger artist, I would say envision the end and keep the end in mind while you're working. Think about 5 months, 5 years from now, where you want to be and what you want your life to look like, and pray about that and envision exactly what you want things to look like, and follow your own path. And really strategize and think things through before you actually get started, because it is a business at the end of the day, and it's entertainment. So there's a lot that goes into it. My biggest inspiration is the local female Detroit rappers, including like Dej Loaf and Cash Doll. They've really paved the way and taught me a lot about confidence and about how to be a boss and be on my boss shit, and about talking my shit as well. I've learned a lot. And I have a lot of respect for the grind and the work ethic and the constant consistency. There's something to be said for that as well.
Exclusive.